This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning to all. The today's topic is class-based polymorphism. First of all, what is polymorphism? Same name with many forms is called as a polymorphism. Class-based polymorphism means same name with different arguments and different forms, different behaviors are used in the only for the class, only for the class. For example, what is a class? Class means a collection of variables and a collection of methods. For example, we are declaring a one class. The class name is sample class. We are declaring a one class. The class is sample class. Okay, and it is declaring the different parameters, different types of values. Now the one is a DEF. One is a one method. The method is some M1, some self value. So which the message is a print. I am M1 of sample class. I am M1 of sample class. Okay. Now another class is declared class test class. Okay. The DEF, another one is M1. M1 same method. Same method is also available in the okay. Now I am M1 of test class. I am M1 of the test class. What is polymorphism? Same name with different types of argument. So here the function M1 is available in the sample class and the M1 is available in the test class. Now it is called as a class-based polymorphism. Same name available in the two classes. Same method is available in the two classes. It is called as a class-based polymorphism. That means class-based polymorphism is the same method. The same method is available in different classes. Different classes. The same method is available in different classes. It is called a class-based polymorphism. Class-based polymorphism. So I will explain one by one topic, no problem. Class-based polymorphism. Now, the example. So now it is a class and sample class. Here we are declaring a one method that is M1. The test is also another class. Declare the M1. So now here to declaring the two separate objects. So S1 equal to sample. So clear, sir, no problem. S1 dot M1. S1 dot M1. No confusion. Without any confusion, here M1. The sample class we are creating S1 object. The S1 object is executed through M1. Now immediately execute this method. No problem. Now we are another creating T1 equal to test class. T1 equal to test class. Here the T1 dot M1. T1 dot M1. Now clear. So explain the one by one. So now the class-based polymorphism. The same method name is available in the different classes. It is called as a class-based polymorphism. And we are creating another method also, no problem. Another class also class, so and so. Now here same M1 is available in the sample class. Same M1 is available in the same M1 is available in the sample class. Same M1 is available in the test class. Same method name is available in the different classes. It is called as a class-based polymer. Now execute this method. So without any ambiguity, without any confusion, S1 object execute the sample class. The T1 class is executed in the test class. Okay, now execute this program immediately. Now run the program. The program is running. First executing the sample class. Here, please see the observe the main one. So now the S1 class is executed. Okay, S1 object is executed. This method, and after completing this method, now here second one. Now whenever you are calling a T1.M1, automatically execute this method without any confusion, without any ambiguity. For example, the same program is running with some ambiguity. For example, sir, here we are applying here without inheritance concept. Here we are applying with, for example, we are applying with inheritance concept. Now here we are starting the same program with inheritance. At the same function, same program without inheritance. Here calling the M1 method, sample class. Here calling the M1 method of the test class. For example, here calling this one. So one class is created. Please observe this one. One class is created. This is the sample class. One class is created. This is a sample class. M1 method. Okay, clear and now the deriving the another class. So with the previous example, without any. Now this is called as a test class. This is called a test class. Here it is the M1 method. Okay, without any link between these two. Without any link between these two, happily executed here. M1 is executed. Here a test class M1 is executed. For example, here we are creating a through inheritance. The inheritance is called as a which type of inheritance and through the inheritance is called as a which type of inheritance. Okay. Right. I will explain. Okay, here. Okay, Rahul got to. Now, sir, you can use the same object in the same class. What happens? How I will show you. The next topic. That's the next topic. Now now the M1 is the same class. M1 is the same class. Now here you are creating the inheritance. That is called as a single inheritance. The concept is single inheritance. The concept is single inheritance. The test class derived from the sample class. Now after executing this statement, here the M1 also derived from the sample class. Please observe this one. Now here the confusion, ambiguity is here. Okay. Now the some ambiguity, some confusion is arrived. So which confusions are? So the test in test class M1 is one method. This M1 method is derived from the sample class. Now which one is executed? Now here the ambiguity is executed automatically. They are creating only one object T1 test class. So now the T1 dot M1. Which object is executed? Which method is executed? That whenever you are calling the M1, executing this method or this method. Why? Because sorry, inheriting through the inheritance concept. Okay, through the inheritance concept. Whenever you are creating the T1 dot M1, which method is executed? Either error. Okay, now you have the three cases. One case is the error, or execute the base M1, or executing the derived M1. Same method is available in the different classes. The different classes through inheritance. In the test class, two methods are available. One is the M1, its own M1. Another one here, M1 is the inheritance M1, which method is executed. So run the program. Now here always execute the which method. Always executes the derived class M1 is executed. Derived class M1 is executed. Why? Because overriding this method is overriding to test class M1. That means it is called as a overriding, or the same method, same object is executed. Now here, so please note these points. Okay, note one. Okay, whatever members or methods, whatever members are available, available in the parent class, are by default available okay, to the tail class, through inheritance. If the child class not satisfied with the parent class implementation, then child class is allowed redefine that method in the child class, based on its requirement, okay. This concept is called based on its requirement. Okay, this concept is called overriding, or our terminology, class based polymorphism. That means same method is available in both the classes. It is called as a polymorphism. Okay, clear? Class based overriding or class based polymorphism. Now the second one, note 2. Which method is always executed? Okay, right? Overriding concept is executed for the methods. Overriding concept. Okay, overriding concept is applicable for methods. Okay, the overriding concept applicable for methods. Okay, the methods of both the classes. Now is the class, no need of the method 2, only for the method 1. Now here example always executes here in the example. Now the above example always executes which class of method? always executes derived class, always executes derived class method only. Always executes the derived class method only. That is very important. Okay, right? Overriding and overloading. Overloading for compile time, overriding for runtime. Overloading for compile time, overriding for only for runtime. The above example always executes the derived class method only for the derived class method. Clear? Now the sir, for example, here you run the program. In this program always executes only derived class method only. For example, I want to execute the base class method. For example, I want to execute the base class method. To run this program, in this program always executes only the derived class method only, please. Okay, here, so one is the sample class executes the M1 method, test class executes M1 method. Now here to deriving always executes the derived class method only. Always executes derived class method only. Sir, I want to execute base class method also. I want to execute the base class method also, sir. How to execute the base class method? Here in this example, always executes only for derived class. In this example, always executes only derived class, test class M1 only. Sir, I want to execute the base class M1 also. Now you are using one inbuilt method. The method is super function inbuilt function dot M1. Here to execute super function. It is an inbuilt function. The super is an inbuilt function. This function is execute the base class M1. Here this function is execute the base class 1. Here by default execute the derived class 1. Now here to execute the base class M1. Now it is a super function. So now what is the super function, sir? So now the super means it is an inbuilt function. It is a built-in 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 function. Okay. The built-in function. So now what is this one? And here to execute the always execute the derived class one. Now it is a built-in function. The first point. Now I will show you one by one. Example here without this statement, this statement execute only derived class M1 only. Now using this statement, then what happens? Now using this statement, then what happens? Now using this statement, okay. Now for example, I am M1 of temple class. Execute another program also. Please wait 1 minute. I could have this I have comment section. Now here, okay. This is the entire program only. The entire program. Please 1 minute. Now this is the entire program. You can run this program. What is the output? And what is the output? Please observe the output. In this program, first execute. So execute creating the T1 object. Now immediately execute the T1.M1. That means derived class M1 is executed. The control is transferred to derived class M1. Then immediately execute the first statement. The first statement is super of M1. That means the base class M1 is executed. Here the base class M1. This is the base class. The base class M1 is executed. Now the base class M1 is I am the sample class. This is executed. And after executing the body of the function, the control goes to the next statement. That is the I am M1 of the test class. Only without this statement. Without this statement, always execute. Without this statement, please the comment section. Without this statement, always execute the derived class only. Using this statement, run this program. Okay, without super statement, always executes derived class method only. Always executes the derived class method only. For example, using this statement, execute the base class method also. Execute the base class method also. That is very important. Now it is a super function. Sir, what is super function, sir? It is a built-in function. Using super function, executes the base class methods. Execute the base class method. Right? This note point, very important point. So using the super function. The super function. What is super function, sir? So okay, it is a built-in function. Using super function, the super function, super is a built-in function. Super function is used to execute the base class method. Execute the base class method. Base class method. Okay, base class method. Now this is clear, all of you. Base class method. Now execute the base class method of the super. Is also applicable for same for construction. Constructors also. For example, I will show you with constructors. Now here, okay, using constructors. Using constructors. For example, using constructor. Now we are defining one class and the class is sample. Okay, colon. one constructor def underscore underscore init underscore underscore of self, one constructor, for example, print I am default constructor, of sample class. Okay, I am default constructor of the sample class. Clear? And the default constructor of the sample class. Okay, default constructor of the sample class. Clear? And one more class is available, that is a class, test class. Class is test class. Def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self of, for example, self of def, sorry, okay, now print of I am default constructor, of test class. I am default constructor of test class. Okay. Now, so whenever you are creating, whenever you are calling through the inheritance, that means sample. Through inheritance, that means is the sample. And through using constructor implement the class-based polymorphism. So it is also polymorphism. Polymorphism means same function. Okay, same function in different classes. For example, first you are creating the T1 object. T1 equal to test. Now, whenever you are creating an object, immediately execute the constructor. Now here the sample class, it is a sample class. Now it is also a test class through the inheritance. Here underscore init its own function, and the underscore init it is a derived function, derived from the sample class. It is a sample class, it is a test class. Now whenever you are creating an object, immediately execute this method only. Immediately execute the constructor of the derived class only, but not the base class. The constructor of the derived class only. Run this program. Run this one. Check. All right. Clear? Now run this program. Always executes the constructor of the default constructor of the test class only. Always executes the derived class only. But we want the default constructor of the sample class. How we can call this function? Super parenthesis dot. How to call this function? Underscore init underscore off. That means here to execute the, whenever you are creating an object, immediately execute this one. So now whenever you are coming to the part of the function, whenever you are entered into the function, immediately execute this method. That is the super dot init. Super dot init means immediately execute this function. That means the base class of this function, the base class of this test class, which is the base class, the base class is the test class. The base class is the test class. Immediately execute this one. Now what is the output of this program? The output of this program, I am the default constructor of the sample class. I am the default constructor of the test class. For example, sir, it is a only single inheritance. Example one. For example, single inheritance. Okay, it is a single inheritance. For example, sir, we are implementing the multiple inheritance. How to implement the multiple inheritance? Okay, the same applicable. Here we are using the one class is a multiple inheritance, class A. Okay, that is the class A. def underscore init underscore of self. Okay, clear. In the multiple inheritance also same. I am class A constructor. For example, I am the class A constructor. Okay, and another class is a class B colon def underscore init underscore of self. For example, print of I am class B constructor. I am the class B constructor. Okay, I am the class B constructor. Another class, that is a class C colon def underscore init of self. I am class C constructor. Okay, without any inheritance. Now we are implementing the inheritance concept. Class B from A. Okay, class C from B. Clear? Now we are implementing the creating one object C1 equal to opc. Immediately, for which class constructor will be executed? Now here, whenever you are creating an object of the C class, C1 object, immediately execute the, execute the by default constructor, which class always executes the, class C constructor only. Class C constructor only. In this program, always executes class C constructor only. In this program, always executes class C constructor only. Sir, for example, if you want to execute the, execute all these base classes also. Now you are using super dot underscore init. Now which class will be executed? Now here which class will be executed? The base class B constructor will be executed. Now here first class B constructor super object as no in C. Please wait 1 minute. underscore. Now here second underscore is missing and now we are using the super underscore init. Now here, so whenever the which is the base class here? Here the base class is only for B. Now immediately execute the base class B constructor will be executed. The same thing. Or I want to execute. I want to execute A class constructor also. Now here use super dot underscore init. Then what happens, sir? First what happens, Sunny? Okay, now here underscore. Now here underscore. Now then what happens, sir? For example, run this program by using first of all we are creating it. This is the hierarchy: class A to class B and to class C. Here class C is called as a derived class, class B is called as a intermediate class, class A is called as a base class. First the object is created. C1 object is created. Whenever the C1 object is created, immediately execute the C class constructor function. Now it is a C class constructor function. Now the function is super of. The function is super of underscore init. So immediately execute the first the super class, which is the base class. C is the derived and B is the super of the C class. Now this function is executed. Execute this body. Whenever you are enter into the B class constructor, automatically execute the base class. Now here the control is transferred to the base class. Here the base class is, this is the base class. Now this is the first statement, which is the output. And what is the output? Output is I am class A constructor is executed. After executing the body, again the control transfer to next statement of the function. Here the next statement of the function is this is the next statement. I am class B. I am class B. Okay. After execute the body of this one, again the go to this and the last next calling. Now I am the class C. I am class C. That means what is super function? The super is a clear and clear or not all of you. What is a super? Super is a function. It is a built-in function which is used to execute the base class methods. Base class method. Either it may be method or it may be constructor. Here this concept is applicable. This concept is applicable for here. This concept for writing or any concept, right? This concept is applicable for method override methods and constructors. This is called as a class-based polymorphism. Means same name with a different classes. This is called as a class-based polymorphism. Clear or not, guys? All of you clear? This is called as a class-based polymorphism. Using this one. Now, sir, next one using the three important concepts. Sir, one concept is private variable, and one concept is public variable. One concept is protected variable. Three types of variables. In every class, it has the three types of variables. What is private variable? What is protected variable? What is public variable? There are the three types of variables are available: private, public, and protected. Okay, these are the three types. I will show you one by one. So, what are the different types of variables? Different types of variables. That's called as the variables are attributes. Variables are attributes. Private, protected, and public. R is also used in the public variable. Okay, public, and one is a protected, and private attributes. Private attributes are variables in a class. Okay, now how to define the public variable? How to define a private variable? How to define a protected variable in the class? So now these are the three types of variables. One is a public variable, attribute or variable, same. Protected variable. private variable. For example, it is a class and it is a class. The class name is, for example, sample colon A equal to 10. Assume that B equal to 20, C equal to 30. For example, assume that one. These three are the variables. These three are the variables for which class? Sample class. Sample class. Now here print of, for example, print of sample dot A. Okay. Print of sample dot B. Okay. Now the print of sample dot C. These are the three variables. These are the three variables. One is a variable is the A variable. One is a variable A. Another one is a variable B. Another one is a variable C. All these are the three variables of the sample class. So these three variables are which type variable? These three variables are is a public variable, or it is a protected variable, or it is a private variable. Attributes means variable or property. Confuse avadandi. Either variable or property. What these variables are? It is either public or protected or private variable. In Python, by default, all the variables are public type. In Python, by default, all the variables are public type. All the variables are public type. Okay, public. What is public? What is public? In Python, by default, all the class level variables or attributes. Class level variables are public type. Clear? Get out of here. By default, all the variables are public type. Clear? Antavaraku andarku okay anandi. For example, by default, all the variables are public type. Run the program. Run this one. Now here, by default, all the variables are public type. These variables are accessed either inside the class or outside the class also. These variables can be accessed either inside the class and outside the class as public variable. In Python, by default, every variable is a public variable. Okay, public type. Okay, these variables can be accessed. Okay, can be accessed either inside the class or outside the class. No problem. These variables can be accessed either inside the class and outside the class. Okay, clear. It is a up to here, clear all of it. Because it is a public. Okay, Nandi. Clear. Now what is protected variable? Okay. And the next question is, what is private variables are? What is private variable? Three variables. Private variable. What is private variable? Now all the private variables, okay, are declared using double underscore symbol. Double underscore before the variable name. So now we are using the before variable name. That is the prefixing. When the prefix is the, so now the before variable name. Okay, all the private variables are declared using double underscore symbol before the variable name. Clear? Before the variable name. Now the variables are declared double underscore, not the single underscore. Now, for example, we are assuming that C is a one variable. This variable declared as a before using the double underscore. So what is the double underscore symbol, sir? The double underscore symbol is the private variable, private attributes or variables. Okay, only for declaring the double underscore symbol, two underscore symbols. Double underscore symbols means two underscore symbols in the before the variable. Now here the before the variable, two underscore symbol. Now here what happens? Now run the program. In this example, A is a public variable, print the value. B is a public variable, print the value. C is a private variable. The private variables are not to assign the value, but cannot be accessed outside. The private variables cannot be accessed outside. Only public variables are accessed. The private variable cannot be accessed outside. Okay, here 10 A is accessed, print the value. B is accessed, print the value. C is a private variable because we are declaring as a private. How to declare a private variable? The variable prefixing using the double underscore symbols, two underscore symbols. This variable is called as a private variable. The private variables are declared by using the double underscore symbol before the variable name. Okay, and these variables these variables can be accessed only inside the class, but not outside the class, not the outside the class. Here these are not variable. They cannot be accessed outside the class. It is outside the class. It is a main program. It is a main program. These variables cannot be accessed inside. These variables only accessing only inside. Okay, inside permission only, but no permission for outside. This is not outside. Here no permission for C variable. So now, sir, all these variables are accessed only inside. You write one function. Function name is display. Function name is display. Some variable name colon print of underscore C only. Underscore sample dot underscore C, because C is declared only inside the function as a private. These variables are accessed only inside this function only, inside this class only, but not outside. Here we are calling the sample dot display. Function is calling, but this is not executed. Type is not executed. Clear? Please observe this. Run the program. Okay, clear or not? What happens, sir? What happens, Andy? This is completely class. This is the main program. In this main program, the first statement is executed. Sample.a. Now it is a sample.a. This function is executed. This statement will be executed, print the value of a10. And next, this statement will be executed, sample.b. B value is printed. Again, sample.display. In the sample class, display function is executed. The control immediately transfer to the call the function. Here, function calling. This statement is called as a function calling or method calling. The statement is called method calling. Now the call the display method. Here go to the background. So sample dot underscore C. Sample dot underscore C. The value of the C is 30. Why? Because C is a private variable. It cannot be accessed outside the URL. Only the names are accessible. The address are accessible. Okay. Now the C is not accessible. For example, assume that only one example. Another example. Sir, what is sir? For example, class, okay, cinema hero or cinema heroine, some heroine, for example, heroine. Okay, the heroine name is, okay, for example, the heroine name is Kajol. Heroine name is a class Kajol. Okay, some the heroine only. Okay, some actor only. Actor. His name is, for example, actor, his name equal to, for example, Kajol. Okay, the name equal to Kajol. This is the name. And his age equal to, for example, the present Kajol age is 35. Now here to add the values, A1 equal to some actor, to creating the actor. Now here print off, so without creating any object. Actor dot name. Okay, actor dot name. Okay, here creating the actor. Print off actor dot age. Now here, okay, now this is the object. After creating the class, and now we call the function actor dot name and actor dot age. So here this is one class. Now we are actor. So actor. The actor name is Kajal. Okay, actor name is Kajal. His age is 35. Now, but in the case of heroes or heroines, you are accessing only for the name. Cannot be accessed the age. Why? Because your age or age is private variable. It is not a public variable. Now it is a public. By default, it is a public. Now this variable declared as a private. This variable declared as a private, and outside this one, the age is not accessible. Outside this one, the age is not accessible. Here you are accessing only name of the actor. Only name of the actor, the age is not accessible. Why? Because age is private. For example, is the bank balance. The bank balance is, for example, okay, 7 CR, 8 CR, 100 CR, some only for 300 lakhs. His bank balance is 300 lakhs. For example, assume that it is a balance. Assume that. And we are the other person. So now it is also a private. These two variables, and write the one function. That is the one, the display function. And write the display function and print off. Okay, actor dot underscore age, and print off actor dot underscore is bank balance only. Here this statement is not working. Why? Because here to simply call the actor dot displays details. Why? Because these two variables are These two variables are private. This variable is completely for public variable. This is the public variable. These two are the private variable. Now another one variable. So please see the check this answer. Okay. Name is the cursor, age, and okay, bank balance. For example, here, okay, here, name of the actor equal to cursor. Okay, here, age of the actor. Okay, actors are actor. Here, bank balance equal to comma BAL. Okay, single quote missing. Single quotes, okay, clear. Run this program. Okay, these are the actors. Now that means age and balance are the private variables. What is private variable? Private is a variable. All the private variables are declared using double underscore symbol before the variable. These variables can be accessed only inside the class, but not outside the class or outside the world. Only inside the world only, but not the outside. It is a private variable. Now, what is protected? All the protected variables. Are the protected variables are declared using single underscore symbol, before the variable name, okay, before the variable name, right? Clear. These protected attributes can be accessed okay anywhere in the class. From outside of the class is only for its child class. These variables okay, can be accessed within the class anywhere, okay, but from outside, okay, outside of the class only in the child classes, okay. We can specify using the double underscore, not double underscore. You can specify the variable using the prefixing single underscore only. Here we are using, this is the single underscore. Here B is a private public variable, it is a protected variable, it is a private variable. Now we are using the single underscore. These variables are called as a protected. So double underscore, these variables are called as a private variable. Example 1, to demonstrate okay, private public, to demonstrate public protected private variables. And this is a second example. Now here the second example. Example 2 is to demonstrate public variables, okay, protected variables, private variables are attributes. Both are same. Private attributes. Clear? So now here name is a public, age is a private, balance is a private. For example, we are assuming another variable, that is the address, ADDR. Address is, for example, Hyderabad. Okay, so address. Or cell number, single underscore, cell number is also protected. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is a cell number. Or is a cell number. So these two are the protected. Now here name is a public. Please understand. Be careful. Name is a public. It can be accessed anywhere. And address is a protected. And here cell number is a protected. Age is a private. And the age is a private variable. These two variables are accessed only within the class. Please observe this one. Age variable. Age and balance. These two variables are accessed only within the class only. Outside cannot be accessed. And public, it can be accessed either inside and outside. It is a protected. It can be accessed within the class in anywhere, and outside it's a child class only. And outside it's a child classes. Outside is the child class. Any number of child classes it can be accessed. For example, I will show you another example also. This is example 2. Another example, run the same program. So now this is the, so here actor's name, okay, print of print of is address of the actor, okay, equal to some actor dot underscore single underscore addr address. Now print of actor, okay, cell number equal to comma, okay, actor dot single underscore cell number. Now the private variable. Now here, what is the private variable? Name is public, address is protected, cell number is protected, display. Run this program. Okay, now here, causal activated, Hyderabad, cell number and private variables cannot be accessed inside, outside. These two variables are accessed only within the class only. That's why we are writing one display function and access these two variables. But the protected is accessing anywhere in your program. But outside it cannot be accessed. Outside it accessed only for the corresponding child classes only. Child class public variables can be accessed anywhere. Clear? It is the main concept.